Picture a modern wedding night. The reception wraps up, the guests go home, and the newlyweds finally retreat to a honeymoon suite, locking the door behind them for absolute, uninterrupted privacy. But rewind a few hundred years, and that locked door swings wide open. A newly married couple would be undressed, tucked into bed, and surrounded by dozens of guests staring right at them. These packed bedchambers were filled with politicians, clerics, and in-laws, all gathered to execute a mandatory civic duty. How exactly did human reproduction start as a heavily scrutinized spectator event? And why did society demand a front-row seat? For most of human history, marriage operated as a communal survival mechanism. The stakes were simply too high for romance, rendering the concept of privacy entirely irrelevant. A historical marriage functioned as a high-stakes corporate merger. Families traded valuable assets, consolidated land, and sealed peace treaties between rival factions through the union of two people. This flowchart illustrates how fragile those treaties actually were. The entire contract hinged on one specific outcome: producing an heir. If the couple failed to reproduce, as shown by this bottom branch dropping off, the alliance was instantly nullified. That deep vulnerability led communities to invent the bedding ceremony. To legally lock in the contract, the wedding party would march the couple into the bedroom and physically put them into bed together to initiate consummation. The crowd acted as official legal witnesses. They needed visual confirmation that no body doubles were being smuggled in under the covers, and they needed to hear the couple speak to prove neither party was being physically coerced. Once the couple was in bed, a profound fear of biological failure took over. The community would bring bizarre foods and physical charms into the room to aggressively ward off evil spirits and guarantee fertility. The community's invasive presence served as a desperate attempt to micromanage unpredictable human biology, ensuring their own political and economic futures remained intact. The pressure continued long after the crowd finally left the room. The absolute highest stakes ritual occurred the very next morning, involving a public inspection of the bedsheets. The community and clerics scrutinized the linens for blood, taking it as undeniable proof of the bride's virginity and the successful completion of the consummation. If the sheets were clean, rival families could legally demand the marriage be annulled, triggering immediate diplomatic crises. Consider the immense psychological burden this placed on a teenage bride and groom. Grounded, realistic humans were forced to perform a deeply intimate biological function on a strict timeline, while an entire political apparatus waited for results. Eventually, the community began a slow, centuries-long retreat away from the bedroom door. This graph maps the trajectory of that retreat. The crowd's distance starts here at 0 in the 1500s, but as the urbanization metric rises along the bottom, the crowd moves outside the door and finally drops to complete isolation by the 1900s. People were moving into cities, earning cash wages, and adopting the smaller, independent nuclear family structure. As individual wealth and independent households replaced massive land-based communal treaties, the village lost its legal right to audit a couple's biology. The legal necessity for an audience disappeared. Yet the rituals themselves survived, mutating into the seemingly harmless wedding traditions we practice today. The modern tradition of throwing rice as the couple leaves the chapel is the hollowed-out ghost of those ancient, desperate fertility charms, originally thrown directly into the bedchamber to force reproduction. Tying clattering tin cans to the bumper of a getaway car evolved directly from the loud, banging noises the crowd used to make outside the bedroom door, hoping to scare away malevolent spirits while the couple consummated the marriage. Even the act of carrying a new bride over the threshold is a surviving relic of the bedding ceremony, originally designed to ensure the consummation space was entered safely and without physical reluctance. Which brings us right back to that modern honeymoon suite, with the door locked and the guests far away. The privacy we expect today is not the historical default. Hanging a "Do Not Disturb" sign on a hotel door is a hard-won victory over centuries of public biological auditing.